Hey boys, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to be doing a little discussion video for BBL 10, Big Bash League coming up. Obviously, exciting times. The women's Big Bash has been a lot of fun, but I am keen for the main event to start. And this video, as the title will suggest, there's been a few new additions to the rules, so we're just going to talk about them. There's one in particular, glancing over it, it sort of just, I didn't really think much of it, and I just don't understand the point, but there's a couple there that I think are neat. So let's get into the rules. So power surge. The power play, first 4 overs, and then the power surge, 2 overs, the batter's choice. So the batting side choose when to take control with the addition of the power surge. There's still a 4 over power play at the start of the innings, but now the batting team can take the other 2 power play overs anytime from the 11th over onwards. Now, I think this is a good addition, because obviously before it was just the first 6 overs, power play, and it's sort of always, so, you know, one-day internationals are sort of, that they're hugely guilty of this, and it's the fact that, you know, the first 10 overs, first 15 overs are usually pretty exciting. Either the batting team gets off to a good start, they're going for it in the power play overs, or the bowling team is picking up wickets in that power play over. It's more attacking. And then, you know, depending how the game is going, generally the next 20, 25, even 30 overs, it can be a little bit of a snoozer at times, because, you know, the field spreads. If there's a couple of wickets down, the batting team isn't going to risk it, so they're just pushing ones, they're pushing twos. The ball's not really doing a whole lot, and then the final 10 or less overs where it ramps up again. That's sort of been a bit of an issue for one dayers for a while now. They've tried a few new things with a couple of power play over changes for the ODIs to make it a little bit more exciting. But T20s, obviously it's much shorter, so that little window is, it's not as big, but there's still a factor there, because generally it's been like the first 6 overs, very exciting, and then depending how the game is going, it can get a little bit like that for the next 6 to 8 overs maybe, where teams are just sort of pushing it around. And then the final few overs is where it ramps up again. So this one, it sort of does feel like, the first 4 overs, depending how it's going, the batting team, if they haven't lost wickets, they're going to continue to go. But the addition of those 2 extra power play overs not being straight away, it's going to make those middle overs a little bit more exciting. So personally, I think it's a good addition, because there was no real strategy for the power play. It was literally just try to get off to a good start. If you lose a couple of wickets, reel it back in, try to minimize. But if no wickets down, then try to maximize those first few overs. So that was literally it. But being able to choose when to take those 2 overs, I think is good. It's a bit weird that they make it after the 11th or from the 11th over onwards. I don't know. I don't know why that necessarily is like that, but personally, I think it's a good addition. It's not a huge change, but I think it's a good little addition. The next one, so I'll say right now, this is the one that I just don't really agree with. So it's the bash boost. It's sort of a power. It's a bonus point. So 4 points available per match. 3 points for the match win, and then 1 point bash boost. So it's what is it? The bash boost is awarded halfway through the second innings. The batting side will receive 1 extra standings point if they're above the equivalent 10 over score. If they're lagging behind, the fielding side receive the boost. So whatever team has more runs on the board after 10 overs, they get the bonus point. This one just makes no sense to me. This is like nonsense. And the main reason it's nonsense is because I would hate to see you look at like the final ladder, right, at the end of the year, and a team that has less wins than another team gets through because they have more bonus points. And I'm sure there's a possibility for that, because if if a team gets enough bonus points and they're only, maybe a couple of games down from another team, I'm sure they could make up the difference if that other team didn't get bonus points. So I'm like, that would be a terrible way to miss out on the finals if you just didn't get as many bonus points as another team. So I just think this is a stupid, a very dumb addition. Like, it doesn't make any sense, because generally the first 10 overs are usually the most exciting. Well, the first few overs and then the last few overs, but I don't really understand what this is doing, because why is the first 10 overs so much more rewarded now? What's the point? Why is a team that scored more runs in the first 10 overs, why is that more important than the final 10 overs? So I don't get it at all. I saw someone comment on Twitter saying that I guess a team, and they were sort of against it as well, but they were saying, like, if a team was really, they lost like a bunch of wickets, it looked like they weren't going to, they were no chance of chasing down the end total, they could then, I guess, change their mindset to just try and slog for the next, few overs and try to get past their first 10 overs to try and get 1 point out of the game. And I'm just like, that's terrible. If teams do, like, if some teams do end up doing that because they're, and I'm not saying that would happen all the time. Obviously, you don't want to be in that position, but I don't know. This one just is, I think, a terrible addition. I just feel like it's so silly. But yeah, that's I don't know. That one's a weird one. And then the final one, and I do like this one actually, the XFactor. So halfway through the first innings, both teams can drastically change strategy and choose to sub in their XFactor player. The XFactor can replace any player who is yet to have a major impact on the match, hasn't batted or bowled multiple overs. So that's very interesting that they're saying multiple overs. So I'm assuming they can bowl 1 over and then get replaced. So that is very interesting. I actually like this a lot because I think you could do some good stuff with it. Because obviously, if you might, I guess a team could have like a big hitter in the sheds as their 13th man, and they're off to a good start. They haven't lost any wickets. Then they decide, well, we're no wickets down. We need someone to come out and just have a bit of a slog. They could replace someone with just this big hitter. I mean, that's a very simplified sort of strategy, but I could see it, and especially the bowling. Like, I don't know, maybe you would have like a sort of a good example, like someone like a Billy Stanlake, who, he'd probably bowl more overs, but having like that really top line bowler that's really good at the start, right? He might get, a guy that can swing the ball, has good pace, but he can get taken to at the end of the game, or, if the ball's not swinging, he can get, hit around. So you bring a guy in to start, bowl that first over, and if he doesn't get any swing, then sub him out for like a spinner, or, someone just a, dibbly-dobbly type bowler. Or if he is obviously getting swing and he's looking dangerous, then keep him in. But I think there could be some really good sort of tactics to that. I guess the only thing that might hinder this is just like the depth. Like, I don't know if that many teams are going to have that much depth to really, you know, have like amazing players come in. Like, you know, some teams definitely have like a really good roster that they could choose from, but yeah, I actually like this new rule. I think is good, and I am keen to see what they do with it. It'd be funny, like the you know, because obviously I'm going to do the Big Bash Super Coach League. You'd be kicking yourself if if you have a guy that they sub out after like an over and bring someone else in for him. But yeah, I think honestly, two of the three rule changes I'm pretty pogged for. Especially this one, I think is really good. The power play change I think is good. I think it makes sense for the way the game is. The bonus point one, just I still don't think it makes any sense, but I'm keen to hear what you guys think in the comments section. What do you think of the new rule changes? Maybe you think the bonus point one is good. Let me know what you think. But other than that, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.